Dear friends, welcome. Welcome to TYBA Compulsory English Classroom. I hope you must have watched the part 1 of the short story Uncle Podger Hangs Up a Picture. For our convenience, we have the division of the short story into two parts. In the part first, we have seen the story in nutshell, the source of the story, the structure of the story, the glossary, theme, and we had movie screening with discussion. In today's session, in today's part 2, we'll have the recap of part 1 and then gradually we'll move to movie screening movie screening with discussion. We'll also deal with the character of Uncle Podger. We'll try to sketch it. After that, we'll write down the summary and at the end, I will offer you some assignment.
Students, this is the agenda kind of overview for part 2. As said earlier, today we will have recap of part 1 whereby I will refer to the story in a nutshell, the source of the story, the structure, glossary and the theme. In today's part 2, we'll have movie screening with discussion. After that, we'll try to sketch character of Uncle Podger. We'll write down the summary and I will ask you to do the assignment. This we have referred in our part 1. The short story Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture deals with how Uncle Podger hangs a picture on the wall. We come to know about his family members, and in all, we know that in what way the author Jerome K. Jerome presents Uncle Podger as very funny, fuzzy, messy, comic, absent minded, or confused character. Regarding the source of the story, Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture is taken from the comic novel Three Men in a Boat. The novel is written by Jerome K. Jerome. Regarding the structure, we have said that the present lesson is a short story, and accordingly, we have dealt with the characteristics.
Students, now time to deal with the glossary. This glossary is taken from our own book, Literary Pinnacles. Commotion, noisy disturbances. In Marathi, what we call gadbad, gondhad. Six penny worth. 6 penny worth, 6 पैशाचा मूल्य असलेली गोष्ट. स्टेप लॅडर, शिडी. फोल्डेबल लॅडर विथ स्टेप्स, छोटी शिडी. Spirit level, a glass tube filled with liquid and used to check the surface level. Picture cord, thick string for hanging picture, picture बांधण्यासाठीची दोरी. Hinder, obstruct, अडथळा आणणं. 4 women, a woman hired for housework, घरकाम करणारी स्त्री. Grovel, इन द सेन्स क्राऊल, इन द सेन्स मराठीत आपण त्याला म्हणूया रेंगाळणं. ग्रंट, शॉर्ट लो साऊंड इन द थ्रोट, गुरगुरणं. गेपिंग, ओपन माउथ इन सरप्राईज, आश्चर्याचा धक्का बसल्यानंतर जो आपण आ करतो तो ती पोझिशन. स्लाइड, मूव स्मूथली ओव्हर अ सरफेस, घरंगळणं, घसरत जाणं. यल इन द सेन्स लाऊड शार्प क्राय, ओरडणं, किंचाळणं. प्रेसिपिटेट, हर्ल ऑर थ्रो व्हायलंटली, जोरात जाऊन एखाद्या गोष्टीवर आदळणं. इनसेक्युअर इन द सेन्स अनस्टेबल, जे सुरक्षित नाही, कधीही पडू शकतं. रेक, लॉग हँडल टूल विथ प्रॉंग्स, कुऱ्हाड, कुदळ असल्या प्रकारचं एखादं हत्यार.
Students, we have also dealt with the theme, namely underestimation of the women, स्त्रीला कमी लेखणं, satire on men like Uncle Podger, आणि म्हणूनच अंकल पॉजर सारख्या व्यक्तींवर, मनुष्यांवर हे केलेलं एक भाष्य आहे, क्रिटिसिझम आहे, सटायर आहे. प्लस यू विल सी the themes such as gender roles, responsibility, inequality, control, ignorance and independence. आणि ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी अंकल पॉजरला लागू होतील. Students, before dealing with the movie screening with discussion, I want you to read the short story Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture for second time. While reading, you should underline the difficult words and accordingly find out the meanings. You may refer to our glossary section. I want you to notice the characteristics of Uncle Podger. Further, you should mark the accidents in the story. Students, here we go for movie screening with discussion.
We would find the hammer for him, and then he would have lost sight of the mark he had made on the wall where the nail was to go in, and each of us had to get up on the chair beside him and see if we could find it. And we would each discover it in a different place, and he would call us all fools one after another and tell us to get down.
Students, you should refer to page number 5. And as said, too many cooks spoil the broth. इथे तेच घडतंय नेमकी. 550 आचारी आणि वर्णामध्ये मीठ भारी. Plus, you will find that there is a difference between what uncle says and what he practices. त्याच्या करणी आणि कथनीमध्ये फरक आहे. बोले तैसा चाले त्याची वंदावी पाऊले. पण अंकल पॉजर बोलता एक आहेत आणि करतं दुसरं आहे. He said that I will hang the picture by my own self. आणि आता तुमच्या लक्षात येईल की तो तसं काहीच करत नाही आहे. त्याने अख्ख्या फॅमिलीला, संपूर्ण मेंबर्सला कामाला लावलेला आहे.
And he would take the rule and remeasure and find that he wanted half 31 and 3/8 inches from the corner, and would try to do it in his head and go mad.
This will highlight that Uncle Podger is confused, he is absent-minded, and being confused and absent-minded adds to the characteristics of being messy, fuzzy.
And we would all try to do it in our heads and all arrive at different results and sneer at one another. and in the general row, the original number would be forgotten and Uncle Podger would have to measure it again. He would use a bit of string this time, and at the critical moment, when the old fool was leaning over the chair at an angle of 45 and trying to reach a point 3 inches beyond what was possible for him to reach, the string would slip and down he would slide on to the piano, a really fine musical effect being produced by the suddenness with which his head and body struck all the notes at the same time. And
Students, you should mark the accident over here. Uncle Podger would slide on to the piano, and really a fine music is produced over there. His head and body is struck, and that's why the notes, the music is coming from piano. So this is another accident Uncle Podger had.
Aunt Maria would say that she would not allow the children to stand around wasting their time. At last, Uncle Podger would get the spot fixed again and put the point of the nail on it with his left hand and take the hammer in his right hand, and with the first blow he would smash his thumb and drop the hammer with a L on somebody's toes.
So you will find two more accidents over here. Uncle Podger has smashed his thumb, and further he has dropped the hammer on somebody's toes. Series of accidents.
Aunt Maria would mildly observe that next time Uncle Podger was going to hammer a nail into the wall. She hoped he had let her know in time so that she could make arrangements to go and spend a week with her mother while it was being done. "Oh, you woman, you make such a fuss over everything," Uncle Podger would reply, picking himself up. "Why, I like doing a little job of this sort."
This will explain you in what way Uncle Podger is blaming Aunt Maria. See the man domination, man patriarchy, the underestimation of the women. Further, students, you should notice that Uncle Podger is not able to do the simple task and he's blaming others.
And then he would have another try, and at the second blow the nail would go clean through the plaster and off the hammer after it and be precipitated against the wall with force nearly sufficient to flatten his nose.
Mark, one more accident over there. One more attempt and one more accident.
Then we had to find the rule and the string again, and a new hole was made. And about midnight, the picture would be up, very crooked and insecure, the wall foliage round looking as if it had been smoothed down with a rake, and everybody deadbeat and wretched except Uncle Podger. "There you are," he would say, stepping heavily off the chair onto the charwoman's sconce and surveying the mess he had made with evident pride. Why some people would have had a man in to do a little thing like that?
So students, today we have discussion over part 2. We have referred to page number 5th and 6th of our textbook. Now, time to deal with character sketch of Uncle Podger. Students, basically Uncle Podger is the kind of person that cannot do simple tasks, but he thinks he can. Additionally, moreover, he is the kind of person that makes simple tasks more complex because of the number of people he recruits to help him to do the simple task. We know that too many cooks spoil the broth. 550 आचारी आणि वर्णामध्ये मीठ भारी. He doesn't perform any task completely by himself. And when he does, he messes it up. You should mark that there is a difference between his speech and his action. Try to understand the paradox over there. The task is the simple act of hanging a picture on the wall. Instead of just getting the tape, measure, level, hammer and nail himself and hanging the picture within 10 minutes, Uncle Podger recruits the entire family to help him with the job. Uncle Podger is representative of all those men who are clumsy, incompetent, and create more work than is necessary by making things complicated. However, such men would never admit the error of their ways and blame the other people. Uncle Podger is very messy and forgetful. He takes up a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders and creates mess. Thus, the writer presents funny, fuzzy, messy, comic, at the same time absent-minded, confused, fault-finder, complaining, happy-go-lucky Uncle Podger. As promised, now we will deal with the summary. The short story, Uncle Podger Hangs a Picture, deals with how Uncle Podger hangs a picture on the wall. Uncle Podger has a daughter and 3 sons. His wife, Aunt Maria, reminds Uncle Podger that he should get someone to hang the picture. But Uncle Podger decides to do the job himself. The writer beautifully depicts how Uncle Podger hangs a picture on the wall. He is confident and thus considers himself to be the best to complete the job of hanging the picture on the wall. Uncle Podger makes all the family members to work a lot, though he says he will perform the job by himself. Uncle drops the picture and the frame breaks away. The broken pieces of the glass wound his hands. He keeps searching for a handkerchief so as to tying up his injured finger, but was unable to find one, as it is in the pocket of his coat. He makes the 6 of his children search for his coat and shouts at them. After the completion of the process of changing the frame, uncle loses the nail, hammer, and which the children have to find. He slides on to the piano with his head and body struck. He also smashes his thumb, and thus, with a lot of mess created, Uncle Podger blames Aunt Maria to be responsible for creating the fuse, the mess. In the end, he says that hanging a picture is very easy job for any man to perform. Thus, Jerome presents very funny, messy, fusy, comic, absent-minded, confused, fault finder, complaining, happy-go-lucky Uncle Podger. Now, time to move to assignment. And this is the question for you. Is Uncle Podger accident prone? You need to explain with examples. Hope, students, you like today's part 2 and earlier part 1 regarding the short story Uncle Podger Hangs Up a Picture. If you have any query, if you want to comment, please use our discussion forum of our Google Classroom, TYBA Compulsory English 2020-21, or else you can write to me at Tejesh Beldar 143@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching this video.